Some people become intelligent through education. Others become intelligent through suffering. And strangely, the second kind often sees what everyone else misses. They can feel tension before conflict starts, sense lies before they are spoken, read motives hidden behind smiles, stay calm when chaos breaks everyone else. And most don't realize, these aren't random personality traits. Psychologists increasingly connect them to something fascinating: traumatic intelligence, a rare kind of intelligence shaped through survival. Because when life forces you to study danger, you become extraordinary at reading patterns. And what looked like pain can quietly become perception. Today, we're exploring 10 signs trauma may have turned you into a different kind of genius. But stay until sign number 10, because it explains why some wounded people become wiser than people twice their age. Sign 1. You read a room instantly. 1:30 to 3:15. You walk into a room, and before anyone speaks, you know something feels off. Nobody said anything. Nothing obvious happened. Yet somehow, you feel tension, a forced smile, suppressed anger, an avoided glance. You notice what others overlook. And maybe you've always thought, why do I pick up things nobody else seems to notice? Because your mind learned scanning, not casually, survival scanning. Your nervous system became a radar, constantly reading signals, micro-expressions, tone shifts, body posture, energy changes. This isn't mystical intuition. It's advanced pattern recognition. And here's the strange part. People with traumatic intelligence often read emotional weather better than people read actual words. You don't just hear what someone says. You hear what they hide. And that is rare. Sign 2. You predict moods before they appear. You often know someone's upset before they know it themselves. You sense emotional storms early. Subtle changes in voice. A slower response. Tiny withdrawal. Invisible friction. And your mind immediately notices. Because once, predicting moods meant protection. If someone's anger was unpredictable, you learned to detect it before it exploded. And now, that skill stayed. People call you observant, sometimes too sensitive. But sensitivity at high levels is intelligence. You're processing data others ignore, sometimes even unconsciously. And it makes you eerily good at reading people. Almost uncomfortable good. Sign 3. Pressure makes you sharper. Most people break under pressure. You often focus. Deadlines, emergencies, crisis, chaos. Something clicks in you. While others panic, you become precise, strategic, calm. And that confuses people. But it makes sense, because unpredictability was once normal. Your brain adapted. Researchers sometimes call it stress adaptation. You've rehearsed survival internally for years. So when pressure arrives, you don't collapse. You activate. And often, your best thinking appears in difficult moments. That's not accidental. That's intelligence forged under fire. Pattern interrupt. But here's where it gets deeper. Because the next signs aren't about what you do. They're about how differently your mind actually works. Sign 4. You analyze human nature constantly. You don't just observe people. You study them. Why do they say that? Why did their face change? Was that insecurity? Manipulation? Fear? You replay conversations, decode motives, analyze subtext. And sometimes you wonder, why does my mind do this all the time? Because once, understanding people was emotional survival. So you became a student of behavior, not through books, through experience. You've built a psychological map of people. And often, you understand someone's patterns before they understand themselves. That is not ordinary awareness. That's rare social intelligence. Sign 5. You notice hidden contradictions. People say one thing, mean another. Most miss that. You don't. You catch inconsistency, false kindness, passive aggression, pretending, emotional masks. You notice when words and energy don't match. And that often makes you hard to deceive. Manipulative people feel uncomfortable around perceptive people because perception threatens performance. And your mind catches performance quickly. That's not suspicion. That's discernment. Big difference. Sign 6. You're quietly self-reliant. You don't expect rescue. You build solutions. Silently. Independently. Because at some point, relying on others felt dangerous. So competence became comfort. And now, you solve first. Ask later. Maybe never. People see independence. But beneath it, is survival intelligence. You learned, if no one saves me, I become resourceful, and resourcefulness is one of the highest forms of intelligence. Midpoint retention hook. But sign 7 is where traumatic intelligence stops looking like survival and starts looking almost like a superpower. Sign 7. You feel life intensely. Music hits deeper. Beauty moves you. Cruelty hurts physically. Kindness can break you open. You feel too much. Or so people say. But what if that's not weakness? What if emotional depth is perception depth? Because emotionally numb people often miss subtleties. Deep feelers often don't. You notice beauty others rush past. Pain others ignore. Meaning others never question. That sensitivity can exhaust you. Yes, but it also expands awareness. And awareness is intelligence, often the highest kind. Sign 8. You trust slowly but deeply. Trust isn't easy for you, and there's a reason. Your brain learned safety signals can lie, so it built filters, strong ones. You test people quietly, watch consistency, observe patterns, and when trust is earned, it's profound, loyal, solid, rare. This isn't cynicism. It's calibrated discernment. And honestly, most people could use more of it. Sign 9. You think several moves ahead. You're always anticipating worst-case scenarios, possible outcomes, hidden consequences, multiple paths. Others call it overthinking, but often, it's advanced forecasting, a survival mind plans, constantly. And that same mechanism can create strategic brilliance. You see moves before they happen, like emotional chess. And most don't realize that is a form of intelligence. Sign 10. Pain made you wise early. This may be the deepest sign. You've always felt older inside, older than your age, like life taught you things too early. You understand suffering, people, loss, complexity, depth, and maybe that's because pain accelerated wisdom. Some people age, others deepen. Very different thing. And often traumatic intelligence creates depth, far beyond years. Which is why wounded people can sometimes carry extraordinary wisdom, not despite what happened, because of what they learned surviving it. Here's the truth. Trauma can wound, absolutely, but sometimes it also sharpens your sensitivity, your pattern recognition, your calm under pressure, your emotional depth, your wisdom. These may not be flaws. They may be evidence of a rare intelligence forged in survival. So if several signs felt familiar, you may carry something extraordinary. Comment below which sign describes you most, and subscribe for more psychology that helps you understand the mind.